I don't think I have a changing moral standard. I think my moral framework starts from the assumption that what I care about is the well-being of conscious creatures, and from there I can build out the rest of my moral framework. This doesn't change over time. I think I'm well-founded in the belief that that is a good moral standard to assume and then build out from.
Andrew Wilson is literally back with another video with this guy who you guys seem to like a lot. I mean, like Andrew Wilson destroying him in the marketplace of ideas a lot. So I decided that we'll film and talk about this again. Now, this is mostly around Christian nationalism and morality, which I'm sure if you guys remember from the last time, this dude has a very skewed idea of what that is. Let's watch.
All system of ethics has to start from some sort of axiomatic assumptions in order to construct the rest of your moral framework. We're going to disagree on our base assumptions about our morality, but I don't think that changes over
Let's see
time,
if this
right?
is true. Back up for me real quick. Your moral system starts with...
I'm concerned with the well-being of conscious creatures.
That's it.
That's one of the key
That's the axiom from which everything else moves outwards from.
Mostly, yeah. I would say another one is that I have imperfect knowledge of the world. And so, there's like...
Yeah, so I'll just ask you a simple question based on this ethical system of the care of conscious creatures. If you had two brothers and they wanted to engage in an incestuous homosexual relationship, can you tell me what's the problem is with that?
I don't think there is a problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
I mean...
And can you tell me how that would be good for society?
How would that be good for society? Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be bad for society.
Yeah, tell me how it would be good.
I think it would be neutral.
It'd just be neutral?
Yeah.
You just wouldn't care? It would just be neutral?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you another one. Let's pretend for a second that there was a old lady who lived, right? And all she ever dreamed about was after she died that people would have sex with her dead body. And they happened to find a few necrophiliacs who just really were into that. She donated her body. She put it in her will, right? And so after she croaked, man, one after another, they checked them for disease. They all wore condoms. What's the problem with them banging her dead body, bro?
I think there's probably some surrounding issues of allowing people to have sex with a dead body.
Yeah, I mean, if it's as long as it's safe, all you value is the conscious experiences. The necrophiliacs are having a great conscious experience right now. The person, the person who's having the unconscious experience isn't even a person because they're dead.
Yeah.
So what's the objection?
I think there would probably be some other, you would use as degenerate behavior.
What?
That would come along for the ride with people who would be into that kind of stuff. We should probably outlaw.
Like what?
Well, if they're into having sex with dead people, they might be encouraged to have sex with dead people that maybe
I don't know. That sounds like a slippery slope. That's like when they say if you're going to be a homosexual, you're probably going to be more likely to molest little boys. Sounds like a slippery slope.
I don't think that's true at all.
I mean, it is true. Definitionally, it's true. Men can't molest little boys unless they're homosexuals. They're same-sex sex
Catholic
activity.
Church has a big problem there.
Yeah, and public schools is a bigger problem. So the point is...
there's more teachers than there are Catholic priests.
No, it's not just that. It's because predators go where their prey is, right?
Yeah, like priests.
And like teachers. So,
yeah, like
by the way, 100 times more likely, I can give you the study right now if you'd like it, to be molested in a school than in a church.
Every single person goes to school, not every single person goes to church.
And by the way, I'd like to point this out, that you haven't actually given me an objection here. All you've said is... that's it. You haven't actually... What's the actual objection? She gives her body to science, right? They all want to come in and use her as their dead gang, bang maid.
Golly, it's so graphic. It's so graphic, but I guess you really have to... Andrew Wilson does this often where he brings out the most extreme to kind of point out the flaws in somebody's thinking, and that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing that somebody like this who thinks that it's okay as long as it's consensual, as long as it's a conscious experience or whatever his terminology is. If you really take that to the extreme, in the last video, you saw him advocate for incest, not really advocate for it, but not stand against it, not take a firm stance opposing it. And because of that, now you can see Andrew's bringing out necrophilia. And where does he stand on this? Well, he's kind of trying to smuggle his way out of it, but eventually, I'm sure you'll see that he's not as opposed to it as people should be, which is icky.
No,
What's the
I'll-
problem?
fine, I'll bite the bullet, but I don't think this
Just
is.
hang on, hang on. Bite the bullet meaning.
I don't think this is
Bite
realistic.
the bullet meaning.
I don't think this is
I
realistic.
didn't think it was realistic when I was 20 that you guys would be saying that we should fucking put kids on hormone blockers, but it happened. So I just got to ask you real
it's
quick.
a huge leap from one
I don't
to the
think
other.
so. It was a huge listen, man. 20 years ago, that was a huge leap.
Also, this
Nobody
is a
saw
very
coming.
different- these
In
are
fact,
huge-
liberals 20 years ago were saying, "Well, no, listen, this is about consenting adults, and if an adult wants to dress like a woman to cut off their dick,
Yeah.
that's fine." And then they moved it to, well, the science says that if we don't give hormone blockers to children, they might unalive themselves. So it went real quick. And so for you to say like, oh, it's unrealistic, as though we could never get to this. Yeah, fucking right. One, nobody believes that. And two, let's just point out
I
that
don't
you
think a
said,
lot of people
let's just
are
point out that you just
necrophiliacs.
bit the bullet. That two gay brothers can have incestuous relationships in your land, and you can fuck dead bodies. And so here's the problem, right? It's like, and can that standard that you just gave me of two brothers having an incestuous relationship, right? And you say that that's perfectly acceptable, you bite the bullet on it, or having sex with a dead body, which is insane. Could that change? Could your
what
opinion
change?
on that change?
Yeah, I could probably change.
And so the morality of that thing would change, right?
I mean,
So it's not an
could
unchanging
change
standard,
if
is it?
No, it could change if somebody can make a convincing argument within my ethical framework
Yeah.
that I am wrong about this thing. Absolutely, my
So
opinion
then your
can change.
morality-
I would assume that if
your
someone made
morality
a
is
really
changing.
strong, I assume that you would update your beliefs about some Christian-based belief, and someone was argued to you within the framework of your Christian worldview that actually you should believe the opposite than what you currently believe.
Yeah.
You would update your belief, right?
So the idea here being that within the unchanging standard, did I get something wrong? Sure. That's not what
that's my argument
That's not
too.
what you're saying.
My unchanging standard.
You're not saying
I
it
can
is
also
an
get something
unchanging
wrong.
standard.
Yes,
You're
I
saying
am.
your standard itself can change.
No, I'm not changing. My standard
Let's
of
find
what
out.
I care about conscious creatures
Let's find
does
out.
not change.
Let's find out if this is the case, even right. Your care about conscious creatures, and that's where you build your entire ethical system out of, right? So let us assume for a moment that somebody were to provide to you evidence that there was better outcomes for everybody, right? Just purely hypothetical. If you didn't care about the well-being of conscious creatures, just you personally. If somehow they provided you evidence that you
that goes to my
personally,
second axiom of imperfect knowledge. I don't think it's possible.
okay, so then now axiom one.
I don't think it's possible
hang
to
on,
prove that.
hang
I
on,
think that's
hang on.
impossible.
Within the
claim.
concept of the hypothetical, though, to answer it, axiom one is now defeated, right?
No,
Yes, axiom one no longer exists. Axiom one's disproven now.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
I
it
think
is.
it is impossible to prove what you just claimed. Absolutely impossible.
Okay.
This is like the trolley problem crap that everyone
It's
brings
not
up.
a trolley
or like
cart
the
problem.
utilitarian trap. We don't know the effects that our actions are going to have with absolute certainty, and we can never know because we have imperfect knowledge about the universe. You gave me this wild hypothetical that you could prove
to test your
without
logic.
any doubt that something is true.
Yeah.
I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, okay, so we're not even doing that. All we're doing here is just testing whether or not this axiom is changeable, and it is.
It's not.
It is.
How did I change it?
Because you just said if it could be demonstrated to you that for some reason you, not personally,
I just don't think it could be demonstrated.
Yeah, okay,
That's
but
my
if it
second
were,
axiom.
but if it were demonstrated, you would change that, right?
If I just don't think it could.
Yeah, but
be.
if it could, you would change it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
so it's
could
not
be.
an unchanging standard. So theoretically, we could have a secular humanist society or secular humanist nation where they say, for instance, I don't know, that there was some sort of consciousness that was associated with fetuses. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you then say women couldn't have an abortion?
Yeah, it gets really complicated.
Oh,
when
it
comes to
gets really
abortion.
complicated suddenly.
Yeah,
Now it's really complicated.
Yeah, I am concerned with the well-being of conscious creatures, including fetuses.
So if it was demonstrated that fetuses have some sort of conscious experience, right?
Yeah, I think it's,
are you going to say that women now can't have abortions?
That around 20 weeks is when they...
Okay, but let's just say it was demonstrated that fetuses, right, at 1 week were having some sort of conscious experience, right? Would
Yeah.
you then say that women weren't allowed to get abortions?
Well, so now you have conflict between the well-being of one conscious creature against the well-being
Yeah,
of
so
another.
answer the question.
You'd have to work out that tension between the...
I'm asking you to work out that tension.
the
What would you do
needs
about
of
it?
both of those people.
What is he doing with his fists? What is this movement? How is this supposed to better articulate his point? Explain this to
Well-being
me.
of one conscious creature against the well-being
Yeah,
of
so
another.
answer the question.
you'd have to work out that tension between the.
I'm asking you to work out that tension.
The
What would you do
needs
about
of
it?
both of those people. So I think let's say at 20 weeks you have conscious experience. I think it is reasonable to put in place some regulation on what needs to qualify to happen for you to have an abortion at that time. So the life of the mother, for instance.
Yeah,
being
okay,
at
but
stake.
answer to the question I asked you. If you had a
I
fetus
absolutely just
at
answered the
1
question,
week,
right?
at 1 week.
There's a tension here, and you need to work out, depending on the specific circumstances that is happening there, because you are putting one person's conscious experience in opposition to
That's
another
really
person's,
weird.
right?
Wait a second.
And you have to work that out.
So the axiom here that you have then is that if you have two people who have conscious experiences, you get to relay which one's valuable and which one isn't?
Well, this is like the violinist that is giving blood to the other person who wakes up, and all of a sudden they're having a blood transfusion to the world's best violinist, right? And is it ethical for them to cut the connection to the world's best violinist? And
Yeah, okay,
that it's
but
going to
anyway,
kill
so
them,
can you answer
right?
my question though?
This hypothetical gets straight to that question of like, how do you reconcile the?
Yeah, so reconcile it.
I think at that point,
You can't.
the bodily
you
autonomy of the person who's connected to that person will supersede the.
Don't they both have bodily
right
autonomy?
for them to? Yeah, but one person is completely independent upon the other person to live.
So if you had a Siamese twin and one of them had the heart and the other one didn't, right? That other Siamese twin is completely dependent on the other one, right? So can that one just stab him in the face?
No.
Why not?
I don't think the existence of the other Siamese twin is
They're
restricting.
totally dependent on the other one.
They're totally dependent. They're kind of dependent on each other at that point.
No, there's only one. The other one can live and the other one can't. So why can't, by your logic then, the one just stab him right in the face? Why?
I think that is. I think that would be so destructive.
And that's pretty much how the debate ends. I guess maybe he has something else to say, but they pretty much just wrap it up after this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Total Andrew Wilson victory, per usual. Shout out the lispy boy, femboy, for stepping into the rink though. He tried. See you guys in the next one.